Hey, what is up, guys? Welcome to the Your Auto Enthusiast podcast. This is an exciting episode because it's actually number one, the first episode here on the podcast. And I've got an exciting guest here with us because I believe this is something that a lot of us don't even know exists. And that's because it didn't exist until shortly ago. I am AB Wright, by the way. And this is Gordon of NRW Design. Go ahead and introduce yourself, sir.
Hey guys, my name is Gordon with NRW Design, home of the first aluminum S65 valve covers.
That's awesome. That is that is amazing. I have to tell the story of how I even got here to finding you, because I didn't know anything about your company. I didn't know anything about really the valve covers that we find on the S65 V8 and the E9X M3. So recently, I actually started the trek of replacing my valve cover gaskets because I had a leak. I had taken it to a local shop, Booster Warehouse, where Angel and Anthony had taken a look at everything and confirmed what I already knew, is that I had a leak, oil leak, as well as a DCT pan leak. So getting all that squared away, I'm going to do the DIY, and I pretty much removed the valve covers. And to my surprise, when I removed the valve covers, they're bubbling and they're chipping and doing all sorts of stuff as I'm taking it off. And I am like, what is going on here? So honestly, I just thought, me doing DIYs, I'm making content for YouTube. Cool. This just will be a paint, a refinish type project that I'm going to do. Found out about some, I think it's some 500-degree primer, and then found some wrinkle black, and that's what the guys at Booster Warehouse had suggested, some other YouTubers too. And I just was like, okay, good to go. And yeah, I started running into hangups with trying to get all of the paint off and, wanting to sand and do all sorts of stuff. And I had one of the guys locally reached out, and I'm sorry, I'm in Wisconsin, by the way. I'm in Wisconsin area in the Midwest. So of course, I guess I failed to mention my excitement for this project because it had gotten warm. It was a 75-degree day, and we have been finally coming out of the cold because we've been 30 degrees. So I was ready for this, but one of the local guys said, hey, you might want to take it to a shop and get it chemically stripped, do a chemical bath. So that is what I did. Now, I had no knowledge of what I was going to get back. I just assumed it's just going to get rid of, that whatever that top coat of paint is, the one that's chipping, and just clean off stuff under the bottom.
Yep.
So when I got it back, I guess, and you can confirm yay or nay to this, but I assume I had raw magnesium alloy in my hand. Is that correct at that point, or no?
That's correct.
That is correct.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Because I didn't know. I didn't know. So I did grab them real quick. I did show this on a video I did recently. Let me pull them up. And of course, I'll show, if you're watching on YouTube, I'll show the before as I was pulling it off of the vehicle. But this is what I got back.
Yep.
Okay. And you know more about, I guess, the process of cleaning this up and painting. I definitely do not. So this scared the crap out of me to see it. And all I have, we're in the process of buying property. And so right now we're in an apartment, and I have limited space in room, and I definitely don't have anywhere to be stripping, sanding, painting, and all of that, a booth of any kind. So I just bit the bullet and bought some new genuine BMW valve covers.
Okay.
And so, of course, it came with, and you may know this, it came with the oil separators, the gasket, the grommets, and all of that stuff.
Absolutely.
And so I was grateful for that. And but I'd say maybe 2 days later, this was over the weekend, after going to a rally and some other stuff, I see Miguel Beamer of Beamer Invasion has a video talking to you with this beautiful blue NRW valve covers. And you guys blow my mind, you in particular, about this product. And I'm like, where was this video, or where was this before I bought the new ones? So that's how we got here, by way of me, of course, reaching out to you, asking about pricing. And it just happened to be the day that you were launching. And I just was like, man, even though I may not be able to, take advantage of it today, this is information that's got to get out, because surely someone else that runs into that issue like I did is going to be kicking themselves in the butt when there's something out here like this. Please go ahead and tell us more about, I guess, the origin of this product, and I guess the benefits of your aluminum valve covers versus the magnesium ones, and maybe even what's the benefits of the magnesium ones, because surely BMW had a reason, but also what is the downside of having the genuine BMW valve covers?
Absolutely. We'll start the genuine BMW valve covers. So back in that 2008, 2013, pretty much all cars came with magnesium alloy valve covers. It was just a thing they did. I think it was actually cheaper than going with aluminum. So cost is always a factor when, producing a car, especially over, thousands of, vehicles, the bottom line really affects. The other thing is they're lighter. The magnesium valve covers are definitely lighter than my aluminum valve covers by almost a pound per side. If you're chasing weight, you're going to give up 2 pounds. But the benefits outweigh the negatives in regards to the magnesium. So going back how we started this whole thing, about 3 or 4 years ago, I bought a set of valve covers on the board, M3 post. And I was living in Houston at the time, working for the airlines out there. And I had a friend in the Houston area that owned a powder coating store, and I've done some powder coating in the past, and we talked about it, went over there, and I powder coated a set of valve covers. They sat in my living room. My car is a 2013 M3 comp, low miles, didn't really need a set of valve covers, but I thought I got a good deal on them. I wanted to do them, and they sat in my living room for about 6 months. So my wife kept yelling at me, "What are you going to do with these?" I said, "Well, when they start to leak, I'm going to put them on." And I just never drive the car. So I was like, all right, my wife's yelling at me. I got to get rid of them. Let me sell them. I put them on the board. They sold pretty instantly. Bought another set, went and refinished them myself again, sold them again. And I thought, wow, there's a little side hustle here. Help me offset the cost of keeping my car up to date, right?
That's good.
So that's what I started doing. I started sourcing out valve covers and refinishing valve covers, and built a little following about how to install M3 posts on the DIY section on how to reinstall valve covers, listed all the parts and how to do it, and step by step. And, but always knew that there had to be a better solution. There was no other solution out there. I started with another project making catch cans, or catch can project as I call them. It's more of a parts kit. I started building parts that you couldn't buy anywhere else. And you could take other parts. So if I wanted a really nice can, the can we use is the new performance catch can. But if you wanted an eBay can, you could use the catch can built off of an eBay. You just needed a bracket to house the catch can. I needed the block off plates for the PCV valves and some plumbing. And, you can run a catch can setup. That would help, mitigate oil blow by going back into your intake plenum and going back through your throttle actuators and whatever. So I worked on that for about 2 years or so. I teamed up with some friends. I moved to Orlando to work for another airline out here, and started going to a local shop here, and we started working ideas. Showed him the catch can project. He liked that. I said, what do you think about doing valve covers? So we put it all together. I got with got another partner is a big BMW shop. It really works on exotics all the way from McLarens to Audis and R8s or Lambos and whatever. So we just kept putting it together, and we sat down and thought about designing a billet valve cover. This was about March of last year when we were working on this project, and aluminum prices were at the highest ever. Machining here in the United States is very expensive, in comparison to everywhere else. I like to keep my stuff in the United States. I like to help promote local business and, get back to the community that I live in. So we designed a billet valve cover, but the material cost to basically build that valve cover was roughly $1,000, just the material alone. And then to figure out machining, you're looking at 2 to 3x on machining cost to be able to produce something like that. And when you talk about 100 sets, that's 300 grand. If I'm going to invest $300,000 into a project, I got to make something. That's a lot of money to give out. That's life-changing money at that point.
Yes, it is.
So we kind of put it on the back burner, and then we just thought about it for a while because there's some unique characteristics of the valve cover that we felt that had to stay in the valve cover. BMW designed it for a reason, and we felt that their engineers and the amount of engineers they have that went over this whole thing, probably a little bit smarter than maybe some of our engineers that we have friends with, even in the aerospace industry. So we felt that those characteristics needed to stay in the valve cover. And by taking, and what I'm talking about is that little hump that's right by the oil separators, which is basically like a high pressure cavity. It goes back to fluid dynamics, basically. The Venturi effect, Bernoulli's principle. If you're in the aerospace or flying, you would understand what that means. High pressure, low pressure. High pressure chases low pressure. High pressure is low velocity. Low pressure is high velocity. So that kind of thing. And that all happens right around that oil separator. And if you change that characteristic, then you're running the risk of blowing a lot of oil back through your oil separators. These oil separators work pretty well when they're new, but when they start to wear out or get time up, the little plastic little flapper valve on the bottom of it starts to dry up, and it doesn't really work as well. Or if you're boosted, you're putting too much pressure through the crankcase, and then they don't handle them. So that's where the whole concept of the catch can project came from, to kind of help the boosted guys out. I'm NA, I run it NA, and it works really well. We've had some on the track down in Homestead where they're turning faster lap times or faster speeds. We got some that are running E85 with methanol, and it's catching so much blow by that would be contaminating the oil really quickly. So the catch can works really well for certain items or certain aspects or for the valve cover.
That makes sense, right?
So that being said, we look for alternate ways of being able to produce this valve cover and produce it with the cost in mind for the end user. We felt like $1,800 for a brand new set from FCP Euro or the dealer. Yes, you're getting the oil separators, you're getting the valve cover bolts, you're getting the gaskets. You're getting pretty much everything new on the valve cover for that price. But we wanted to offer or be able to manufacture something that was cost effective. Excuse me. Where it wasn't looked at as a replacement item. You open up your engine, you see that like what you saw, the bubbles, the blistering, the leaking. Here you have a beautiful car, a future classic at some point will be, and you got these blistering looking ugly valve covers that are leaking. So our goal was cost, but quality, and not cutting corners on our project. So we went up north, we manufactured our own mold here, and then we sent that out, and we cast them out of A383 aluminum alloy. Then we bring them back here, we do all the machining, we do the coating, the QC, everything else here, and then we'll be shipping them out to the end user, the customer. Excuse me, I'm not sick, I don't have COVID, just dry mouth talking. Not used to it.
That's all good.
Don't have the water.
That's all good.
But we looked at what would be a good price point to go. We looked at probably about $1,100-$1,200. We're selling it right now for $999, $95 on a pre-order. That was really just to see who the market was, the committed market, not the guys that would just say, hey, we like to buy it, but then never come through with it. These guys committed
Right.
to our project. We give them a discount on the price. We've also manufactured high temperature silicone grommets, so you can actually reuse your bolts for your valve cover. You put our grommets on, and you don't have to buy the grommet set, from the dealer. So that saves you a lot of money there.
That
you're looking at oil separators. You can reuse your oil separators. You can upgrade or new ones. They're like $80-$90. Come with the gaskets. You got 2 O-rings that are around the what do you call it, the cam sensors, and then the gaskets on the bottom. They're about $100 from the dealer. So all said and done, we produced an amazing product. We powder coat them pretty much in any color you ever want. Just falling back on something that I've done in the past. Allow you to pick. We have nine in stock flavors per se. It's going to be the red, yellow, blue, and black wrinkle, the smooth, and then we offer the OEM option. So for those guys that just want the OEM look, or a dealer that wants to get in at wholesale, whatever, that can put them on their car, save their customer some, money, as well as giving them a better product. They have that option as well. And then we get, of course, the guys that want the crazy colors. I did the set in BMW blue. It's almost a turquoise color. I threw that at Miguel because I built him a catch can kit and did his little catch can, all the AN fittings in that color. And his car is, almost one of a kind. It's an IND car. Yeah. It's beautiful.
It is.
He has everything done to that car. I mean, to the seat belts and everything, except the covers. And this was just like the walk up, since we're friends, we're local. I wanted to say, hey, Miguel, you need these, And
definitely.
It came out a really kick-ass color. It really sells the valve covers. The only downfall, I guess, in this whole thing is when we use the magnesium or the aluminum alloy 383. That's horrible.
Sorry, take your time.
It's got a little bit of silicone in the mix, to help make it so it's more malleable. We got some people that have made some comments in regards to cast or worse than billet. Sure, billet's always going to be the better option when you come to a one-piece build out, but you're looking at cost factor too. The S85s, they don't leak. They're cast aluminum valve covers off of the older M5s, and there's others that, just don't. But you can't make valve covers cast really out of 6061. It's more of an extruded or a billet style aluminum. That's why anything 4-letter is really more of a mill aluminum versus a casting aluminum. And that's why we chose that. So with that having too much silicone in it, it really doesn't take well to anodizing. I would love to anodize them, and hand them out anodized, but I think our powder coating, it's going to come out really nice. I've never really had any problems with anybody liking my stuff. I've been doing it for a while. I got a nice following on my page.
Well, good.
I think we got a really amazing product for the customer out there, and it's a one-time and it's lifetime warranty. So, really, and they're going to be serialized. So that way we track quality control as well as genuine. They're not going to pop up on some other page and be sold under somebody else. We built the mold with our name raised in it, not milled into it. That way you would have to grind that out to actually do it. And where I put that in there, it's really difficult to get a grinder without nicking the other areas in there. So it's more of a protection, for us in regards to protecting our product.
Exactly.
And, I think our product is phenomenal. We have it on several cars out here locally, running around, including the turquoise blue one. We're running in Mexico on the weekends and, trying to get them to leak and, whatever else. And they're doing great. We got one with 500 miles on it already. So, it's been fun, and, we really appreciate the enthusiasm that we've had from our community. We've had a great turnout in regards to our pre-order. We're continuing to make new products as we continue to go through. It just excites us even more to make us, strive to come up with other ideas, for the S65, as I am a true fan of this car.
Yes, true fan indeed. And man, the product, everything that you've said about the product is so much necessary information about it to understand what goes into it. Because honestly, outside looking in, you know, anodizing versus cast versus any other thing, or even the original magnesium alloy, any of that, in terms of making it, you know, you don't understand what all goes into that. And I recall you talking with Miguel when you mentioned, you know, cutting costs with eliminating the hump, at least in theory, and then making that more, and then that making that an inferior product because of what it would do to blowback oil. And
Correct.
and when you don't understand all of those properties, because R&D is more than just marketing analysis and trying to find who's going to buy it. If you don't know what you're creating and why it's created the way it is, then you create an inferior product. So I like that you shared all that went into and the understanding of what went into it, and you didn't cut corners just to
Yeah.
make more money.
One of the things, I mean, we test all our products before we sell them. You know, a lot of people come out with a CAD design and then try to get you to buy it for you to be a guinea pig for their product. You know,
Right.
and then when you put it on, and then you got a problem. They might have a Band-Aid for it. You got to buy another product to fix that. But we didn't. We want our customers to be happy from the get. We want them to know that we're running them on our cars and that they've been tested. You know, as much as we can test. You know, we've sent them off to independent metallurgy to have them tested outside of us, just to verify what we've done is correct. We've gotten the green lights on all that. I kind of posted up a little video of it going through some of the tests on our Instagram page. You know, I try to share enough information to let you know that it is us, but I got to keep some of my secrets myself, just because I know there's out of nowhere, we were the first, I mean, that I ever heard of. And then next thing I know, there's like 4 or 5 different guys coming out making valve covers, and a lot of them are similar looking, you know. And I think they're looking at the cost versus really the engineering behind it, you know. And none of them are running on a car right now. So you know, it's you know, I hope their product works. You know, I don't want nobody to fail. You know, it's a lot of money, time, and investment in this. Even if you cut corners, there's still a lot of money invested in it. You know, I just want the end customer to be educated, understand, you know, what could happen, why those were there, why we did what we did, why we went cast over you know, billet. You know, we want them made ourselves. We don't want to send them across the ocean. You know, all these kind of things. So this is important to us, and we want, you know, we want a quality product at the end of the day. We want, you know, to be able to pull up to a meet and nobody thinks, oh, that's that guy that rips everybody off, or I don't want to have a bad name. You know, I want, you know, I do this because I enjoy doing it. You know, we all 3 of us have a real job, you know, and this is just another workload that we put on ourselves to create this product because it's something that we love. You know, we do it because we care. We want something that we run ourselves. And if other people can benefit from it, let's all do it, you know?
Definitely. Now, I wanted to hit a couple of different things real quickly. I want to backtrack to anodizing versus cast.
Cast material is usually not anodized, and that's usually because of the material that cast material is made out of. Billet material is usually what's anodized. So, like our billet jack pads will be anodized black when we send those out, or if you pick the option for that. Being that our casting, or our A383 aluminum that we've chosen for this this project is, like I said, it has a little bit too high of a silicone content in the mixture of the alloy. So do the anodizing process, the salts come out of the metal and make like a milky color over the anodizing, and it's not that pretty, and not many people would want to have that. And that's why we chose the powder coat them, because powder coat is tried and true. Been doing it for years, and they're gonna have no problem with it. So,
got it. Yeah, I was aware of the powder coating and had heard all these different terms before, but like I said, I do not work with, you know, I'm not a metal worker. I don't understand how all of that works. Now, if we talk electricity and we talk DIYs on cars, that kind of stuff, that's different. And I'm saying that because I'm thinking back to what you said earlier about the different theories, especially in aviation, because in the Navy, I was an aviation electrician. But before you even get into that part, you still have to understand how a plane even flew. So that made sense. That made sense. Now, the silicone grommets that you use, I'm going to back up. I noticed when I pulled the old ones out of the original valve cover, some of them came right out, and then some of them were seized to the covers. I had to pry those off. But of course, they look terrible. I was not planning to reuse those at all, but I did see when I thought I was keeping the original covers and getting ready to buy more, they were expensive. So tell me, pertaining to the silicone versus, and I don't know what material that is other than just rubber, but what is the win with silicone versus what they're using with the genuine parts?
So genuine parts is a rubber grommet. It holds up to about 120 degrees Celsius. That's why they dry up a little bit, doing the heat cycles on the engine. There are some companies out there, some that I look as a mentor, say they're reusable. Just clean them off, knock all the two-part epoxy that's being stuck to it from the valve covers, the coating on the originals, and you can technically reuse them. I mean, the torque setting's really low on those. It's not really affecting it. There's been a long thing where everybody just replaced them, just as you did valve covers, just replace the whole things. So my business partner, set out before we came together technically, and he built a set, he's manufactured. It's a high temperature silicone that's got 170 degrees Celsius. It's a little bit better heat. They don't dry up because they're silicone, not rubber. They're more elastic. They work well. They don't leak. They're not, we've been running them on the cars for over a year. These are cars we see all the time at the shop. We're always watching them. So it's a nice upgrade. We don't have to buy all the bolts with the grommets, because that's the only way you can get them from the dealer. They don't sell them separate. Nobody else was making them. My business partner looked at it and said, "Hey, let's do it." And it was an idea him and I had before we formed NRW. He's the W in the NRW. These are our initials. My first name is Neil. Ray is my engineer, and Will is the owner of the BMW shop. So that's where the NRW Design comes from. Yep,
it fits. Absolutely. It's a good name. It's a good name.
It is. I'm having some fun. It seems like there's some other NRWs out there that seem to like to stake claim to it, but we're trademarked out right now. And
see what that's what happens. You got to do it right. You either do it right or go home.
Absolutely.
That is good. So you launched the sale. It sounds like the pre-sale and everything is going well. Please go ahead and share what I think you said something about the price already. Would you just reiterate real quickly for anybody that's just coming in on this video, the bargain that you're running right now, or the pre-sale you're running right now?
Absolutely. So MSRP for these valve covers are $11.95. That's our standard 9 colors pick. If you want the crazy options, or any of those candy colors or illusion colors that Prismatic makes, we had an extra $150. They're one-off. I have to order it in, and it's usually 3 steps plus through the oven versus maybe 1 or 2. So there's a little bit more work involved in that, and it's a little bit more time. So $11.95 MSRP, an extra $150 if you want the crazy colors. Right now, we're doing them for $999.95. And we started last Monday, and we'll go to the 23rd of May, and we throw in a free grommet set as well. That just gives us, an understanding. It allows us to pre-order all the powders ahead of time, because there's been such a rush on this. We don't want to have delays. There could be delays. We never know as you're going through machining in the process. So we're trying to mitigate all the delays that we see ahead of time, and try to get those nipped in the bud before we get to that point where we're facing a delay. As they go through, with the colors. We feel that powder coating will probably be where we bottleneck up a little bit. So with the pre-orders, I can start stacking colors and do 5, 10 at a time of the same color versus having to clean out the
That
powder
makes
coating
sense.
gun, clean out everything else, set up. If I'm spraying yellow and red, back with red on that, and I'm shooting orange for a minute, then the colors don't match. So
Right.
we've done that. We've just designed over the weekend and just posted them up today. These plates that we'll use that bolt up to the bottom of the valve covers, and then we'll use those. That'll help us with taping, help speed us up in time into the powder coating booth. And it's a clear line around it. So, and they'll come out identical every single time. So it's just helping us. We're looking at trying to speed up our process so we don't bottleneck up. We can get the pre-orders out, and then once we can start sustaining a normal order, then we'll stock the stocking colors. The price will go up a little bit. We'll be offering dealer pricing for those shops that are out there. We'll be going after some of the names to see if they'll help us out with stocking a product or selling a product as an OEM plus or something that'll help the customer out, give them another option. And all by offering a lifetime warranty, because we feel this is something that we've gone through, and we feel that we really don't have to worry about the lifetime warranty. So it's something that we can say to make the customer feel a little bit better about the purchase, and we're pretty strong with our product.
Wow. A bunch of wins. There are a bunch of wins in getting this. Other than the price, number one, when you speak of lifetime warranty, I'm thinking of a couple of different things. First off, if you were to go through another company like FCP Euro and then got the genuine BMW, again, we're still dealing with magnesium alloy with that. And then over time, depending on how long you have the car, running into the same issues. So I feel like that's going to be the thing that I'm concerned about, even with the ones I have. Or I have a great relationship with my dealership, Kanaz BMW, in Lake Forest in Illinois. I'm right across the border. And we have a great relationship. So I do save some money going to them. And it was still great being able to get what I needed and get it pretty quickly. However, that still, even with me doing the work, because when they replace everything, you get a couple of years or a year. I forget now as far as service.
I think it's 12 months.
Right. Okay, 12 months. And then, but even if you replace it, I think it boils down to, of course, the parts itself being warranted, but the cliche between the part being the issue versus the install being the issue. So there's always that fine line between you doing it and the possibility of it being your fault versus it being the product. So I like with the lifetime warranty that it does give a peace of mind to say, hey, it's that good that it should last for a very, very long time. But Absolutely. If you do have any issues, we can get that resolved. So that's good. Absolutely. That's a huge win.
Thank you.
Now, another win is pricing, because what I spent on mine and what you've seen online is pretty much close to $2,000 by the time it's all said and done after taxes, for everything. So, and like you said, depending on the mileage, you can reuse the oil separators, the camshaft position sensors and all that. You just want to replace the O-rings and stuff like that. And that's fairly simple unless you have to replace the unit itself. So I think it's not even, I know it's a win. It is a win. So honestly, any one of you that is watching this or listening to this, and you own a S65 engine, whether you've done a swap in a 135i or you've done or you have an E9X platform and you need it for your S65 engine, this is a win. This is a win. So I appreciate you for taking time out to come on the show and share what you've done and to share this product, because I feel that it's products like these that we as enthusiasts and car lovers and Beamer lovers really need in the community. So thank you for doing that.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
And I don't know. I'm still, for me, I am seriously still considering jumping on. And even if I just buy it and have them, like you said, have them sitting in the living room back here, or the garage until I'm ready to take those off. Because I feel like the next time I have to go in there and take that plenum off and do anything, I am going to take those things off and put on the other one. So don't be surprised if you get a call from me or a DM from me, or just you see the order come across and it's coming to Wisconsin. That's probably me, because I still, for some reason, I see the wrinkle black happening under that hood. So
sounds good.
Well, thank you very much. Did you have anything else you wanted to share out? In fact, if you want to share like the website, or definitely share the Instagram, because they can get to the website from there with them.
Yeah, absolutely. Our website is www.nrw-design.com. And our Instagram, where I pretty much stay on there all day and answer questions, DM or post or whatever, and I keep pretty much everything live there. Is NRW_design_, and that'll drive you to our Instagram page.
Awesome. And thank you again for your prompt response. I realize now, looking back, you were finishing up the post and everything to get ready to launch it the morning that I reached out to you, right after seeing Miguel's video. And you candidly gave a response pertaining to you was going to list pricing for colors and all of that here just shortly. And sure enough, everything popped up shortly, and I was able to see what the campaign was all about. And even this morning, bearing with me, this is almost embarrassing, but funny. T-Mobile, and as I share with you, T-Mobile and most other cellular companies have this campaign where they've been beat over the head to block robocalls. I used to live in Atlanta. I owned some property. I grew up in Atlanta, in fact, and I owned some property. Okay, cool. And because I saw the number, and I understand it now who it is, but because I had sold the property some time ago, I started getting calls from people asking if I was wanting to sell the property. I'm like, I don't even own it. So, and with enough scams and everything else going on, when I see a number from Atlanta, I just was like, there's somebody calling about the house. So I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to finish out the morning and wait to hear from Gordon. Hear from me a little bit later. So that's funny. That was funny that it ended up being you. So again, thank you, because that could have easily been a turnoff and be like, man, I'm felt like maybe messing around with you a little bit or something like that. So I appreciate you at least answering the call and still following through with today's episode. So thank you again.
Absolutely.
All right, guys. Well, thank you all for tuning in. That is it for this episode here on Euro Auto Enthusiast. We will look forward to seeing you in the next one. As always, thank you to the servicemen and women that are serving, my fellow veterans and active duty members. Big salute to you all. And as always, you guys know what to do. Keep driving. Salute.